Welcome to Fishbowl Sports, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Bear and Juicy. We're doing our 2026 SEC Conference preview show here today. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's up? What's up?
What's happening, guys?
So we got a slam pack show here. If you look toward our right here, right now I got on the rise, kind of like one of the segments here that we're gonna do here. But I'm gonna move this thing around back up to the top here. So we're gonna first, before we go any deeper, we're gonna talk about SEC outlook, the league-wide setup. So kind of give like a general format how the SEC is going, do their scheduling this year, and things like that. You see moving it right there. Then you got the contenders. I should point this way. Yep, the contenders. Then on the rise, on the hot seat, rebuild, watch / the close of the show there. So let's talk about this SEC outlook, Bear and Juicy. This league-wide setup, the SEC made it known that they're going to 9 conference games. I want to tell you that as we get into this here. And then nearly half the league has a first-year head coach. Auburn, Kentucky, Arkansas, Florida, Ole Miss all have first-year head coaches. And then the biggest
They mean
storyline of
first
the
year,
offseason, and the biggest storyline of the offseason, Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss to LSU September 19th. Circle that date because it's going to be rocking in Oxford. And the betting market has Texas and Georgia as co-favorites, but nearly every projection model flags this as the most uncertain quarterback class in the SEC in years. So that is the general synopsis of what's going on with the league this year. Bear, take it away, buddy.
Well, let's talk about that uncertain quarterback class. In a certain way, it is uncertain. But what is certain is that Archie Manning over there at Texas. Yes, I call him Archie because he throws a lot like his grandpa did. He's erratic. He's sometimes erratic with the football. He makes bad decisions under pressure, as he did last year, in certain times. And I think he's overhyped myself. We do know what we're getting out of Sam Levitt. That is a certainty. What LSU's getting out of Sam Levitt. Heard him from Arizona State. There's some stuff going around on the internet about Mississippi State saying that they have a chance to beat LSU because Sam Levitt
struggled against them pretty bad.
Struggled against him, but it's Arizona State, and he's at LSU now. This is two totally different teams. Way better caliber talent, everything else. I mean, it's just with all these new head coaches going in the league, it's just an interesting dynamic, coming in. Will Stein at Kentucky, John Summerall at Florida.
But he's not technically a first-year head coach, though, because he's been a head coach before.
In the SEC, he's a first-year head coach, and you got Pathetic Pete over there at Ole Miss.
First time.
South Florida. So, but it's going to be an interesting season. There's some teams that they're sleeping on. There's some teams that they're overhyping every year, like Florida, like Ole Miss, are overhyped. Texas.
I feel like Alabama's starting to be overhyped now too.
Mr. Archie Manning over there at Texas, he's definitely overhyped. I don't see how they have him as one of the best quarterbacks.
Well, I'm pretty confident. One thing I'm confident about is Georgia's still going to be Georgia, I think. Because Kirby Smart is a pretty stable program over there.
All right, Juicy, what you think about this outlook on the SEC so far this year and the setup? How you like the 9 games? Let's start off with that.
I think the 9 games are brilliant. I think they should have went to 9 games years ago, honestly.
Yeah, but the way
at the beginning of the conference setup, I feel like there should have been 9 conference games from the get-go. I mean,
the way that went. No, the way that went down, they got suckered into that by the Big Ten, and then the Big Ten decides they're not going to non-conference games. Like that's petty on their part.
The old
But the Big
Pac-10, the
Ten,
old Pac-10 used to do non-conference games
but
back in
the
the day.
Big Ten as a whole, they could play 12 conference games a year, and they're top to bottom still not as deep as the SEC. So I don't want to hear that argument.
Well, that is true.
Okay, so I think we kind of got the synopsis down. So now we're going to talk about some contenders here. Let's kind of figure out as we go here. We go move down to the contenders here to kind of give everybody. So I went on CBS earlier today, and I was wondering who they were going to put, and of course they went with Texas. Archie Manning finished last season hot down the stretch with 15 touchdowns.
Unless I go to Archie also.
Health note: he had off-season foot surgery in January. He had a limited spring. Now he's fully cleared and playing, and now he's back at playing weight for the fall camp. They have a new defensive coordinator. Will Muschamp takes over their defense. And he landed portal pieces at wide receiver Cam Coleman and running back Hollywood Smothers. And then you got Georgia, that's also mentioned in this list here. 8 returning defensive starters after 3 years of a declining pass rush, down to 20 sacks last season. Auburn transfer Amarius Williams boosts the edge projection. Deep college football playoff run, but a loss in the SEC title game. That is the projection. Oklahoma is also mentioned up in this contenders list as well. Defense is elite. Top 5 SP plus last season. Everything hinges on a healthy John Mateer, reunited with offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle. Brutal early season test. Michigan, Georgia, and Texas inside their first 5 games. That is a very brutal stretch.
I wouldn't call Michigan a brutal test. Michigan is not the same team that they were 3 years ago. I wouldn't call that a brutal test.
And next up, we have the Tigers right here. This is a Beanie Baby back in 2003 national championship team.
I thought LSU was projected to finish 5th or something.
Tied for the SEC's highest win total, 9.5 under Kiffin. This is coming from ESPN. Expect a slower start while new pieces, including transfer quarterback Sam Levitt, gel, which I talked about it in a different podcast we went on, me and Bear. The chemistry, got to get things all joined together with that offense of the Tigers and stuff. So that's something that's going to take a little while. When you got a new quarterback in there, just how well you do. That's the biggest thing with these transfer portal classes. I noticed when you get big influx guys in there.
That's why being healthy in summer camp or in spring practice, summer workouts for the start of fall camp matters. The more reps you get, the more chemistry you can get.
LSU didn't do a spring game either. Lane Kiffin and him opted out of the spring game. I guess that was to help out with the health issues.
Season hinges on a 2-week November stretch. Alabama and Texas both come to Baton Rouge. Ooh, that is the 2 biggest games that it's coming up.
Yeah, but that with Alabama's very slow decline, I don't think that game has as much meaning as it used to.
No, Alabama's kind of overhyped still now. I kind of put them in that overhyped class now too.
So
the Texas game does, yes.
So out of these contenders, if you want my pick, who I think putting LSU in the contender category is a little bit early. I think it's very hard to win a conference in your first year. I'm not saying it can't be done, but you got to get guys that fit the mold of your offense, and are in defense as well. But if Blake Baker and that defense continues what they did, keep climbing up the ladder, and if that offense gets in that top 30 overall, they don't have to get top 10 offense. They don't have to. They get a top 30 offense. I think they will make a very deep college football playoff run this year. That's what I believe with LSU.
I think we're in better shape offensively than most people realize because we have 2 of the best offensive minds in college football.
We know LSU's about to score at least 40 points a game.
Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin, 2 of the most brilliant offensive minds in the game today in Baton Rouge. So, yes, there may be some chemistry issues, but I think they're kind of not talking about it enough, and that's totally fine. I mean, that's good. Let's just go out there and just blow everybody out of the water. And mid-season off the bat, But I really think they're kind of like, yeah, but I think they're really kind of like overplaying this whole like slow start. LSU's offense has to gel because I mean, this is Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. Like they're two very brilliant offensive minds.
What you think, Juicy? Who's your like contenders out of this like list? This is kind of what like combining all these sites. We took ESPN, Yahoo, we took CBS, Sports Illustrated. We even got in there, and this is the tier list they came up with. They kind of like had these. So I put all the teams in a list, and everyone they appeared on in that top 5 or 6 teams in the SEC, they all got a point, which is the best way I could figure out to do it. So, and this
I mean,
is what
I wouldn't.
Who y'all think? Like, is Texas, Georgia? That's the one I've seen the most too of. So everybody's
if Arch Manning drastically, if he can make a lot better decisions and more like under pressure than anything, I think Texas could be a contender if Arch Manning does better on those pressure decisions. I think Georgia's a contender for sure.
Yeah.
LSU,
I'd
put LSU as a semi-contender, like in that category, like semi-contender, like almost there. Not gonna say they're contenders yet, but
I definitely wouldn't put Alabama in that list though.
No, I'm not putting Alabama there. No more. It's not Nick Saban, no more. The
defense is too soft. This is not your typical Alabama.
I think Kalen DeBoer is too soft as a head coach all around.
We got hot takes on the talk on Highland right here.
Oh yeah, we got a little trash talk going on.
Yeah,
we do. On Highland, you hear me?
I think.
Look, I got big shoulders, so I can handle it, guys. Let's do this.
I don't think anybody outside of Georgia and maybe Texas, depending on Arch Manning, is really a contender. Honestly, I don't know who else you'd put up there.
Okay.
What about Oklahoma? We haven't really talked about Oklahoma here too much in this contender list, and they were.
I'm not sold on Oklahoma.
You don't think John Mateer stays healthy this whole season? Do you think that they become a SEC title contender in that top 3 or top 4?
Yes, and I'm gonna throw another one at you that nobody's talking about, but they have been talking about what they've done off the field, and that's Florida.
Yeah, John.
I don't know what kind of weight program that he's got these guys on, but I don't know if you've seen any of these Florida defensive guys. These guys are yoked. They are yoked. They are like 20 pounds heavier than anybody else in the SEC at every position. I
was trying to figure out where what tier they were going to end up in, and we're getting to that.
I think, I would put Florida on that. I would take Alabama out and add Florida to the list of contenders because
I can see Florida. Yeah, you're right.
So
they only have Georgia to compete against in the East anyway, or in the Eastern.
Wait. There's no more East and West. I know. I still get stuck on that East and West. I still catch myself saying that.
But Florida, I think their toughest conference game is Georgia. And I mean, outside of that, they don't really have that tough of a conference schedule. They may minus a few games on it, but they went to work in the portal. They brought in new quarterback. They've got some more talent on the offensive line. They brought in some defensive talent. And
now, if we talk about, I thought he was finished.
No, I said Florida's a team that nobody's really talking about, but apparently they put in the work, and I think they're going to surprise some people this year.
But if we talk about contenders, though, so we know for sure the contenders. Now, I guess you could see teams I wouldn't be surprised. I guess you can make another list that teams that you might not be surprised by, like LSU, Florida, Oklahoma, those teams I wouldn't be surprised, but not really talking about them either.
Okay, so this is gonna shock you, Bear. I was looking through the list while you were talking about Florida and stuff. They're way there at the bottom. They're on the rebuild watch tier, according to all those sites. They're kind
I
of
don't.
so
I
You
like
don't know,
think John
man.
that's
Summerall
a
was that
that
fast over
might
there?
I think you know what, Bear. I'm kind of with you though. I think that's a sneaky good pick. Like the the great Lee Corso would say, sneaky good pick. Because
Yeah. I mean,
Florida
give
now Florida they look legit. Like their size of their lines, they look like they're jacked. Like if y'all have a chance to go watch them and stuff, like I'll watch some of their TikTok stuff that pop on my For You page and stuff, and they're just they're getting it, bro. Like it's something
saying
else.
the boys are yoked, man. They are yoked. Well, I mean,
They're they're
because
they're they're
DJ
eating their
Lagway's
Wheaties.
gone. He
That's for sure.
transferred to Baylor. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah, DJ Lagway's at Baylor now.
One thing
So
about
that was the
John
first thing
Summerall,
he
though,
did. John Summerall did was he ran him out. He ran him out of town, and he knew he just said, "You're
John
not fit for this program. You got to go."
John Summerall is gonna bring them big boys from LSU. I mean,
so
from the Louisiana, because he got
John
that
John
Louisiana
John
connection.
Summerall has been a winner at everywhere he's been at. He's won two SEC, two excuse me, two Sun Belt championships at Troy. Went to Tulane, won an American Conference championship, college football playoff
Yep.
berth,
Yeah, didn't he
and
win a
now he's
playoff
there.
game? He
Yep.
won.
No, that was
Yes.
Yeah,
no,
I thought that was Tulane that won the cotton.
that was
The year
Tulane, but that
before.
wasn't Summerall.
Oh, that was the year before him.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
That was
what's his
Fritz.
face? That Fritz. Willie
But he
Fritz. He went to
did. But he
Houston.
did win a playoff game, though, huh? Tulane. Yeah, he won a playoff game.
No,
No, that wasn't the playoff.
no,
They
they
didn't.
lost.
The
They
playoff
lost. I
wasn't.
thought they won that
No,
first
they didn't
round.
win that playoff game. That was against Ole Miss. Ole Miss killed them.
That's right.
Yeah,
So like,
the pathetic Pete's.
so the next tier on the rise tier. This is where you find Missouri, Auburn, Kentucky,
Auburn. I'm not surprised about Missouri, but
Mississippi
Auburn.
State. That's what they. This is the tier. This is what This is what all the sports websites are putting out. Don't come from me. This is not. I tallied. I just did the tally.
Okay. Mississippi State, because they had one signature win against Arizona State last year. All of a sudden, they're an on-the-rise program.
And
I mean,
Auburn.
yes, Jeff
Auburn?
Levy's a great
Auburn?
offensive mind. I get it, but and Auburn, like, come on, Auburn is like the Jets of the SEC. Okay, they're terrible.
So the season projection for Missouri, they have them finishing at 10-2.
I can see that.
They've been
That's not
pegged
good.
for a college football playoff bid at 10-2. Ahmad Hardy was
They
shot in
play.
the leg. Their running back for Missouri, who actually came from ULM, he transferred to Missouri. Got shot in the leg in May at a Mississippi concert. He had to underwent surgery. He was medically cleared as of late July. 5 to 8 week return window. He could be back for the September 3rd opener, or it could be as late as September 27th opener against McNeese State. Backup running back Jamal Roberts will carry the load for Missouri.
I
Ole
mean,
Miss
are they
quarterback
playing
Leslie Simmons also went to Missouri as well, and they have swing games at Ole Miss October 17th and at Georgia November 14th.
I mean,
There,
are they
so
playing Mississippi State all 9 of their conference games to go 10-2? Because I don't see them going 10-2.
that's what the projections are saying.
They must have
Now,
an easy schedule. I hadn't looked at their schedule, but they
you
must have
gotta
an easy
you gotta you gotta circle that Ole Miss game, because Austin Simmons gonna ball out. You already know that he's gonna ball out against Ole Miss.
He lost his starting job to Chambliss, and he's gonna have to like step up there. Like this. That's his time to show that, hey, y'all made a mistake not keeping me around. I'm gonna go show you what's up. But
I
here's
really
the
think
thing
they
though
could
about
probably
Trinidad
beat Ole
Chambliss
Miss.
as well. Like here's the thing about Trinidad Chambliss as well though too. They might have figured him out. I think that's one thing
Yeah,
that
and
people don't understand. Like he had no film on this guy last year. They
not
had,
only that, you lost
and you
you
lost a
you
lot of
lost
guys too.
you lost the man that made Trinidad Chambliss go, and that's Charlie Weiss Jr. and he's at LSU now.
But
So it's
not to
hard to
mention
replicate that success.
but that's the thing. They have film on him now for a whole year. They had a whole summer to game plan against him, possibly. Like if they're like Ole Miss is your toughest team on your schedule, and you're like, okay, look, let's try to we got film on this guy. Let's figure out here because that's what happens
Yeah,
in
but
the NFL and stuff. So, I mean, hey, if they
I
can
know
devise some defensive schemes, maybe just slow him down, or maybe
I
even
know
show.
we haven't gotten into Ole Miss yet, but I'm about to bring it up. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be as good as everybody says that they are. I mean, they lost like 3 of their key players on defense and transferred to LSU.
They all came to LSU.
I
Yeah, I was
mean,
about to say that.
they all came to LSU, and they lost their running backs coach, they lost their offensive coordinator, and they lost some of their offensive guys left and transferred to LSU too. So like, I don't see
I don't know
Ole
what they
Miss,
see with
Ole
Pete
Miss being
Golden. Like,
as
he's never
good.
been a head coach before.
His name is Pathetic Pete. The Pathetic Pete's. That's
The
who they
pathetic.
are known as.
So
The Pathetic
Bear
Pete's.
starting that LSU. Ole
he's
Miss
already in
pass
mid-season
count already.
form. I can't wait till
He's
he gets
already
mid-season
starting
for
it,
real.
baby.
He's already
Here
in
we go.
mid-season form. He's gonna take it out, bro. He's gonna let
Here we
everybody know
go,
what's up on
baby.
the Talk on
Taking
Highland,
shots
baby.
at
That's the Talk on
taking
Highland
shots at
right
Ole
there.
Miss already. Here we go, baby.
So
Yeah,
look,
I don't think the Pathetic Pete's are going to be as good as everybody's saying that they are going to be.
But I do
That's
agree
just
with
my
him
take.
though. I mean I do agree with him on that aspect. I don't think I think they're overhyped for sure.
so one of the notes that was propped up is Auburn. They say first winning caliber roster since 2020 under new head coach Alex Golish. Quarterback Byron Brown follows Golish over from USF. Projected first 8-win season since 2019. What y'all think about Auburn this year, fellas? Let's start with you, Bear.
I mean, honestly, I haven't heard much about Auburn. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I mean, I'm glad to see that they decided to not go the Hugh Freeze hire. That was on paper it looked good because of the success he had there the first time, but Hugh Freeze was just not the answer. And then the Brian Harsin hire that was a joke.
Man, they almost brought the Gus bus back, man. That old Gus Malzahn, they considered bringing him back.
Well, there we go. See, that it went with another former legacy hire because of the success, and he probably would have flamed out too again.
And that's the one thing I think people need to realize with this new era of college football. Like this, you cannot like a coach has had success 5 years ago or even 10 years ago is not guaranteed success anymore. The whole game of
No,
the whole game of college football has changed. Like this whole thing is different now. That's why I'm like,
not only
are we like is the title contenders still really title contenders from 5 to 10 years ago, right? Remember we had Florida State being up there once upon a time. We had Oregon's still up there. You had Ohio State, but Indiana came out of nowhere. There's some new faces in this thing that are, they don't have the staying power as much as the other one. But like Clemson. Clemson won 2 national titles in the 2010s, and now they're not a national championship winning program anymore. They
no
fell.
NIL has basically passed him by because they refused to embrace it.
So, and then you got Kentucky. Will Stein already landed a top 15 transfer quarterback class. Notre Dame transfer quarterback Kenny Minchie installed as the new face of the offense, tabbed as the SEC's most dangerous underdog, capable of one signature upset. So, what y'all think about Kentucky this year, Bear?
Kentucky, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kentucky's had a history of doing stuff like this. They pull in some good classes. Maybe this coaching staff can get over the hump that the previous coach couldn't, because I mean he started off, he had some really good years, and he just kind of flamed out at the end. But I mean, Kentucky, it seems like every few years, once a year, they're good for that good one signature upset win once a season. They get that one or two once every year, and that's just kind of their motif. It's a motif for them. It's just a thing that repeats itself every season. So I'm not surprised by that.
What you thinking, Juicy?
I'm kind of on board what he says. Like what Bear says. Like every I don't know 4 or 5 years, it seems like we see Kentucky like all of a sudden like ranked in the top 10 out of nowhere. Like once every 4 or 5 years, they'll beat a couple. They'll have a couple good wins. But I don't really know. They've kind of lost some too since Mark Stoops is gone.
Mark Stoops, that's what it was.
With Will Stein, I mean, with Will Steins, I mean, hey, he's got a lot of energy. Maybe he's a good recruiter. I mean, we'll see. I'm not sold on him getting more than 7 wins at best this year.
No, I'm not saying like I'm high on Kentucky. I'm just saying like they're one of those teams that like they get 1 to 2 surprise wins a year that they're not supposed to win. That's just how they are.
They have a good
always
year,
done
like
that
every
year.
4 or 5 years. Every 4 or 5 years, they have one good year, and then they fade away again.
They beat a team that they're not supposed to beat either on the road or at home, and that's just they just do that every year.
And the
last year they took Ole Miss down to like the final possession of the game. Oh, and it was a shootout. So
and they choked.
Yeah, and they choked. But I mean, they took Ole Miss to almost to the whole basically to wire.
So Mississippi State is the last one on the rise. Jeff Levy's rebuild has serious skill position talent led by quarterback Camario Taylor. And one sporting site is noted as bold take. Mississippi State will beat Alabama for the first time since 2007. I'm not willing to go that far with it. That is one.
I'm not willing to go that far either.
That was one.
That's a little
I don't think
hard.
I don't think Alabama's that soft yet. But you had one signature win against Arizona State last year, and all of a sudden we're an on the rise team. No, they're still in the full rebuild. They need help all around. They did not do anything to improve themselves in the offseason.
This article tries to be optimistic about it, but
well, yeah, this thing is it compiled like 5 different articles into one. So this is what it spit out here basically. So
yeah, I'm not buying it. Buying it.
So here's we're on to the next tier here. I think Mississippi State should be down into I got this thing that's on the hot seat, but this is definitely a question mark. I should probably name this one question marks, but Alabama's in this tier. Vegas has the lowest win total in years for Alabama at 8.5. Ty Simpson, he's gone. He went to the NFL.
Yep.
The real battle is Keelan Russell versus Austin Mack, unresolved through fall camp so far. Kalen DeBoer, seats getting warmer if this doesn't turn around. Do y'all think Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat here?
Absolutely.
I mean, you asked some Alabama fans, he was on the hot seat after the first game when he was first hired.
After they lost to Florida State, and then they lost to him again, I think, last year or something.
Yeah, I mean, but no, I mean, 8.5 wins. I mean, if we were any other team, but minus a few of the top teams in the SEC, like you would gladly take 8.5 wins. If you could tell Vanderbilt that they were guaranteed 8.5 wins a year, I mean, they would take that all day long. They built a statue for him out front. They built a statue for him out in front of the stadium.
I have been on record in saying this for several years with, just in sports in general. The hardest thing to do in sports not only is repeating as a champion of your specific sports league, but the hardest thing is to replace a legend, because he had to follow Nick Saban.
You gotta fill Nick Saban's shoes.
Like,
yeah, I wouldn't.
And like even with LSU baseball, Smoke Laval had to follow up Skip Bertman. You know,
somebody's gonna have to follow up Jay Johnson too at this rate.
Yeah,
so
and
Smoke Laval kind of self-imploded, so that was
But like that's the magnitude of it. You have to replace one of the greatest coaches in college sports
there's
history.
no doubt Nick Saban is the greatest of all time.
So like that's the thing. Like you have to replace a legend. So 8.5, like you were talking about, Bear, 8.5 wins. You know, if Alabama was in the dumps and they had 8.5 wins, they'd be taking that every single day. But with the standard that's been set by Nick Saban, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you got to enjoy those moments, but now you got to try to replicate that. That's really tough to do for Alabama, and it's kind of one of those things.
it's kind of one of those things that you're caught between a rock and a hard place per se, because you're winning 8, 9, 10 games a year, but you're having to replicate Nick Saban's success. But like I said, just about any of the bottom tier teams, if you told them they could take 8.5 wins every year, they would gladly do it. But that's the downside of trying to follow Nick Saban, is you were used to that 11, 12 wins, that 10 to 12 wins a year, or undefeated, and then now you're only winning 8.5 a year. So like, yeah, I mean, you can see the frustration in it, but it's kind of one of those things that, like, if you fire him, who replaces him? And there's no guarantee that the next coach is gonna.
Then they start,
and
then you might start an endless cycle of hiring coaches out every.
Yeah, then there's no guarantee that the next coach will either win more games. He might lose more games, and then he'd be fired within 2 years. And then here we are, doing the same thing on a repetitive cycle of hiring coaches every 3 or 4 years.
And you can't build a program like that either. Keep stability like that either.
And that scares away, like with this day in NIL and everything, that scares away top recruits, because they're like, I don't know if this guy recruiting me is going to be here in 2 years or not. So, I mean, that's kind of like the thing right now. So, yeah, that's kind of like a bad situation, technically, if you're the board.
I love it, though.
I mean, LSU's
LSU's
loving that right now, because, I mean, they don't have to really mess with it too much. But, we've seen,
I mean,
it's like, okay, like as a fan base, you get so used to eating, like, if they gave you ribeye steak every single day and you're loving that ribeye steak and you're just eating it up and you're just loving it, right? But then someone comes give you a pork steak one day, you're like, what the hell is this?
Well,
I love it. And don't love when Alabama fans whine and cry. I love it.
I'm sure all three of us are old enough to remember a time when Alabama was bad, like 20 years ago.
I don't know if Logan. Well, Logan might maybe.
Oh, I was around when they were had them NCAA sanctions levied.
They had Mike Shula,
Mike Shula
and coach. They were trash.
Yeah.
They won like 4 games a year. Yeah, it was.
That was the early 2000s.
Yep, that was.
Yes, it was.
That was when Nick Saban
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. So
it could always be worse, Bama fans, is what I'm getting at. It could always be worse. You could have Mike Shula coach and win 4 games a year.
Don't look for no sympathy from me. I hope it gets worse.
So the next team on this list is Tennessee. Most pessimistic outlook in the league. Quarterback battle between
but
Brandon.
That's every year, though. That's every year. Every single year they have Tennessee.
2 portal misses. New defensive coordinator Jim Knowles typically needs 2 years to install a system. They're projected to hover right around 500. Bear, look like you got a lot of opinion on this, so let it rip.
Yeah, they always say it's about Tennessee every year. They're always negative on Josh Heupel because they just, oh my God, it's Josh Heupel. Like, we don't play defense. All we do is play offense, and then our offense isn't very good, and we don't have a very good quarterback. Well, I mean, part of that is Heupel's fault, but part of that is the quarterback play. You got Nico Ikamaka or whatever his name was that transferred to UCLA. The way that situation went down, that was horrible on his part. He just ghosted him and just took off and left. But I mean, Jim Knowles, I don't know if that's an upgrade on defense, because Tennessee just doesn't recruit those dogs to play defense. It doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. If you don't have the personnel to play defense, you're not going to be good. Heupel is not a defensive man. Heupel is an offensive guy. He was a national championship quarterback at Oklahoma. That's all he knows. All he knows is offense. Defense is not his specialty. But every year they go on Tennessee. Oh, they're going to win 6 games. They're going to win 8 games. They're going to be 500, and they end up winning 9 or 10 games a year. So anyway, that's my take on it.
So would you put Tennessee on the rise tier instead of on this hot seat tier?
Well, it just depends on how you feel about Heupel. I mean, half the Tennessee fans love him and half of them hate him. So I mean, Tennessee's really a hard team.
I would probably
how they feel about the coach.
I would probably put them on the rise tier. I don't really feel good about on the hot seat thing because I mean it's like, it's like you said, half of them like him, half
I
of them
mean,
hate him. So he's kind of like
and
he's gonna
yeah, you can't
it just is what it
yeah.
is.
You can't really judge him on his quarterback misses because the Nico Ikamaki Ollie was not his fault. I mean, the kid was garbage anyway. He wasn't very good at UCLA when he transferred out.
All
So
right,
like that's just bad talent all the way around.
what you thinking, Juicy, about Tennessee this year? Juicy, you there? All right, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Uh Bear loves this team. Bear loves this team a lot. And you know who I'm talking about. It's them
The pathetic Pete's.
the pathetic Pete's.
Hello, hey, you
Yeah,
can
I
hear
got
me?
you. Oh,
Yes.
Okay, now you got
okay,
me.
Tennessee. What's up with Tennessee?
Me? Oh, I think Tennessee's underrated. Honestly, I think they'll do a little bit better than what people think. Josh Heupel, I
Exactly
think
what
he's
I
a great
said.
head coach.
Yep.
Actually,
Okay, so okay. So after Tennessee, we got Ole Miss, and then after that, we got Texas A&M. Surprisingly, on the hot seat. Okay, yeah.
How?
Okay,
This is his first year.
how? I want to know
Well,
how A&M's on the.
okay, so look, let me run through the summary that they gave. Like this is the
Okay, that's
compilation.
yeah.
So,
We cannot skip over the pathetic Pete's though. We gotta
okay,
get on the
Pete
pathetic
Gold.
Pete's.
Okay, I'm gonna read Ole Miss here. Pete Golding's first full season expected to beat Kiffin and LSU on September 19th, and then they're gonna have a brutal stretch at Florida, at Texas, Auburn, Georgia, and
No,
at Oklahoma. Okay, then they're expected
they
to
win
fade
maybe
after
two of
their
those
hot
games.
start. That's a summary. They're expected to fade after their hot start, so they're not expecting them to close the season off very well. Then you got Texas A&M coming off an 11-0 start that collapsed with back-to-back late losses in a first-round CFP exit. Brutal 2026 slate, road trips to LSU, Alabama, South Carolina, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Projected regression to 8 to 9 wins, according to these 6 different
Okay,
sports sites.
I don't.
So let's
South
talk about Ole
Carolina
Miss.
and brutal do not go in the same sentence.
Hey, this is what this
South
thing is
Carolina's
called.
not brutal at all.
Okay, so Ole Miss.
The
I
pathetic Pete's.
yeah, like they at Florida. It depends if Florida's winning. Okay, if Florida's winning by the time Ole Miss goes over there, it's gonna be a rowdy in the swamp. But they got to get it back over there. Okay, at Texas, Auburn's tough to play at, regardless if they're good or bad. They're always tough to play over there,
They're not beating Texas. They're not beating Texas. And
and they're
if
not gonna
Florida
beat
plays
Georgia.
like we're expecting them to play, they're not beating Florida.
I'm looking at this like that 5 game stretch that they're talking about. That stretch, they're losing at least 2 of these games. They're losing at least if they don't lose to Texas, they're gonna lose to Georgia or Oklahoma. I think. I think
I
they
think
can.
they're only winning. I think they're only winning 2 of those games. They're
Yeah,
gonna lose
like
3 of them.
yeah, I think that stretch there. Then they might lose to LSU. That's a very good possibility too. I disagree with the projection of them beating LSU because I think they lost a lot of people in that transfer portal, which is kind of why they're on
And
this
they
hot
lost.
seat. Like
And you lost your running backs coach. You lost your offensive coordinator.
that's a lot of
Well,
pieces to like gel together and put together. So, what you think, Juicy?
what's up? Y'all
Oh,
broke up. What happened? What's up?
So we're talking about Ole Miss.
your Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, like Bear keeps nailing it on the head. Ole Miss is very overrated, I find. Like you said, there's a lot to replace. Now, that's not to say they can't surprise everybody, but I don't think that's gonna happen. They lost a lot of their key players, key staff. Uh, Nothing really else to add on to, but I mean, except to reiterate that they're not going to do as well as they want us to believe.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a side eye with that Ole Miss thing here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yeah,
sold on
like
Texas A&M is kind of a weird one to me. The regression, I don't really see it, but they do have a tough road with LSU and Alabama for sure. South Carolina, Missouri, I'm not really too worried about those. Oklahoma's late, the road trips there.
definitely,
Oklahoma could be a tough
definitely
one.
not South Carolina.
Um, so they might I think I would say that's 3 out of 5 really brutal road games there to deal with. I could see the regression to 8 to 9 wins. That's fair. I wouldn't say that they should be on
Still
the
kind of
hot
high.
seat kind of banner yet because they
No,
just
I
made this
mean,
CFP. That's kind of weird.
yeah,
But what you
you
think
won
there?
11. You won 11 games. Now, granted, they had a collapse in the college football playoff, which I mean,
But they start off
they
hot.
played.
I mean, you're gonna go through these dips. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what happens.
yeah, but you don't put a coach on the hot seat for winning 11 games in his first year. Now, if they come out and they only win 8 to 9, okay, you lost some guys to the NFL, you lost some guys to the transfer portal, tougher schedule. I mean, don't. This is not an Alabama type situation. Like A&M's, it's been a long time since A&M's had success where they've won 11 games in a year. Don't dog the man for winning fewer.
What you
You
think?
gotta let it play out.
What you think, Juicy?
For A&M, we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about A&M.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because it kind of goes in and out. I don't know how Mike Elko is on the hot seat though. It's kind of interesting to
I
me.
think I think that's just the tier that it was named. I think it just kind of got grouped in there, which is weird, but
I think these
because
people
it
are
has on
high.
the hot seat
Whoever made
slash
this list
question
are
marks.
high. It's high.
Well, it has on the hot seat slash question mark. So technically, the thing on the thing should be question
He's
marks.
only been there what 2 years, a year,
It's 1 year.
1 year,
Last year was
Yeah.
his first year.
and he's on the hot seat for 11-win season. I don't know
I,
what to say with
you
that.
know what? If I was reading naming this thing on the side because I was just like kind of like I'm like okay, I should have put question marks instead of on the hot seat. But go ahead.
I mean, he had really good success. Honestly, I think it's possible that A&M gets another a double digit win season like this year and possibly could make the playoffs again this year. So I mean, that's all there is to say about that. I don't know what these people are looking at, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. So here's our last segment here. Rebuild. Watch. Arkansas. New coach Ryan Silverfield. Steady run at Memphis. He inherits a 2-10 team. They have 50 new players on their roster. Modest,
Golly.
modest expectation. One signature win is projected. It's likely at home versus Tennessee or drum roll please, LSU.
Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Tennessee,
Well,
yeah, I could see that.
I'll
But
say this about Arkansas. Arkansas always plays LSU tough.
That
yes,
is
okay,
true
they do
too.
play LSU. They do play LSU tough every year. Yeah.
They do like routinely they usually do. So
Well, the Summerfield hire to me was a questionable hire. I think they whiffed on everybody else that they wanted, and I think that was just a panic hire, kind of deal. Because they tried to get Golish, he ended up going to Auburn. They tried to get Summerall, he went to Florida, and then obviously they wasn't get they had heard something about them jumping in on the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes, but that wasn't happening. They and then Coach O at one time was even a contender for the job, but they ended up not going with him. So I think it was just kind of a panic hire on their part. I mean, whether it works out or not, we hope it does for the SEC sake. But because Arkansas's historically always been a tough team. They played teams when they were down. They've always played teams tough. But I just think it was a questionable hire myself.
what you thinking, Juicy?
Yeah, it's not really not a lot was really like known about their head coach. Like he was kind of um a mystery hire, I guess. That's what I would call him. Arkansas was looking at a lot of like post past head coaches from other schools, like Coach O, like he said, was on the list.
But Bobby Petrino was also considered a name too.
Petrino,
But
I did see
Bobby
that one.
Petrino, his fall from glory, from his first stint at Arkansas. I mean,
yeah,
Man,
you know who else was a panic hire? Pathetic Pete.
yeah, I think Ole Miss did another panic hire. Yeah, that's the best way to put it for Arkansas. Panic hire. That's the best way you could pretty much say.
Pathetic Pete was a panic hire. I'll say it again.
So the next three teams on this list, you got Florida, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. This is the rebuild watch, So I mean, it makes sense here. John Summerall's we touched on him earlier. 21-7 combined his last two head coaching debuts. Unsettled quarterback battle, but track record says bowl game so far. That's kind of what we're looking at there. South Carolina new
Yeah.
offensive coordinator Kendall Briles paired with quarterback Lenore Sellers,
Hey.
who's
Oh, that's gonna be fun to watch.
carry
Because
average.
if Kendall Browse,
Yep.
if Kendall Browse is running his dad's offense, oh man, that's gonna be fun to watch.
Whose per carry average dropped off a cliff last year, 4.1 to 1.8 after his concussion. Bounce back candidate if Sellers buys all the way in, if Sellers can get back to that. Vanderbilt, the Diego Pavia era is over. 5-star quarterback Jarrett Curtis, flip commitment from Georgia, takes over. Expect a step back early,
A true
improvement
freshman.
late, bowl eligibility fight down the stretch. All right, so let's start with Florida. Florida is my dark horse this year.
Yeah,
I think
they should have been on the rise list.
I think Florida could very well be out of this group on this rebuild. I expect them to probably be on the rise list. I think they're gonna skip that question mark thing. I think they're gonna go up there because Summerall has been good everywhere he's been. I would expect that to continue here. So we'll have to see
Yeah,
what's going on with that.
the thing I like about Summerall is he's got an old school mentality. He just straight up walked in there and said, "Look, this is how the program is going to be. If you don't like it, bye. I'm not changing what I do to fit you. You gotta change to fit to me. And if you don't like it, this ain't the place for you." So he's rebuilt that culture at Florida. And of course, obviously, the work I mentioned earlier, they put it in the weight room. Those boys are yoked now, and they look like they're playing harder than they have in years past. So Florida's definitely going to surprise some people this year.
What you thinking, Juicy?
I agree. Florida's the obvious dark horse for sure.
Okay. So we talked about South Carolina and Kendall Briles is going to be paired with quarterback Lenore Sellers. I'm kind of excited to see this one as well.
I'm kind of intrigued
too.
with that too, though, because Lenore Sellers is very dual threat. Now he has some accuracy issues. No, don't get me wrong. He's got some accuracy issues, but he can definitely, if he gets it together with his arm, man, with that offense that his daddy would run, boy, look out.
Yeah, that's what I was touching on earlier. Because like Lenore Sellers, he's got RG3 type mobility. You know, obviously not as accurate with the football as RG3 was, but he's got that very similar type of mobility when he was at Baylor under Art Briles. And if Kendall Briles runs that same similar type of offense that his dad did, oh man, that's going to be fun to watch. And South Carolina might actually pull off some signature wins this year if their defense can turn the corner. That was one of their main issues last year. But just having a new offense, man, that's going to be fun to watch.
So
That's going to help Lenore Sellers.
So last but not least is Vanderbilt. You got Jarrett Curtis coming in. Shocked me whenever Vanderbilt took it from Georgia, but when you throw the bag in front of somebody, it should be really nice, huh?
Yeah, but back to the Seller Vanderbilt goes. They're fixing to be the bottom feeders again. Their relevance, their run of relevance is officially dead.
Okay, no. Hey, I wonder if yeah. So like his connection looks like it's pretty bad. So it's just me and Bear here right now. We'll kind of wait back on Juicy here a little bit, but I'm kind of like wondering about yeah, I still got his picture up right here. Gone but not forgotten. Our boy Juicy. Tear shed. The internet gremlins got him.
Their days of relevance, their run of relevance is over. Back to the cellar, the bottom feeders they go. Like Vanderbilt, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But bye bye.
Yeah, so we'll see if Juicy rejoins here, but I'm gonna give him a couple of moments to re. But yeah, Vanderbilt flipping that 5-star Jared Curtis over. That's an interesting one
Yeah,
there.
but
How shocked
I
were you
thought
with
he
that?
was a. I thought he was a Tennessee native to start with, or was
I'm trying.
that?
I don't quite remember honestly if he was a Tennessee native or not, but like
What?
so he
But
had
more importantly, is where did Vanderbilt get the money to do something?
well very well.
They're not a very well funded NIL program though. They put all of their money into baseball
And
and
railroads
women's basketball
and
and women's
railroads
gymnastics and
if you know your
railroads.
history.
Yes, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Yep,
Yeah.
that is correct.
I wonder if Juicy's getting back on.
But
Anyway, if Juicy don't get back on, I'm gonna give him like another like a minute or so to kind of see what he has to say.
as a whole, just kind of recapping though, as a whole, this season's going to be very interesting to watch. With the new head coaches and just some of the teams that we discussed
I
that were
wish
overhyped, the ones
I,
that
I
aren't
do
talking
wish
about enough.
I wish I did have a chance to just hide Juicy's thing, but I don't think it's gonna give me the option to do so. Um, like it doesn't give me like a fade on his picture, so it's just got his picture kind of sitting there in memoriam of Juicy.
In the arms of the angel.
Beautiful angelic voice here on the fishbowl here. All right, let's take him off right here. I don't see him getting
Yeah,
back again. So here's the win totals here since it's just me and Bear. Um, here's 1 through 16. Georgia 9.9, Texas 9.8, Alabama is at number 3 with 8.6. Number 4. Oh, look, there's Juicy. We got him back here.
hey, he's back
Hey,
from the
there's
Hey,
dead.
yeah,
Juicy.
it took
All
it
right,
took me
Juicy,
a
what you think
minute. The
about
phone was being
I gotta go put your picture back up. But like what you think about Vanderbilt this season?
definitely going to be in
Oh
rebuilding
well, I gotta
mode.
unmute
Basically,
him real quick because it always mutes whenever you come back in here. Give me a second, y'all. My for sure.
pretty much the express answer would be to speed up and catch up. They're going to definitely be in rebuilding mode. I wouldn't be surprised if they at best I'm feeling like Vandy's a 500 team, 6-6 after the Diego Pavia era they had over there.
Okay.
Even though he did bring a lot of spotlight to him during his time there.
All right. So to catch
Yeah,
you
I
back up,
basically.
we're gonna do that order of finish thing here. So number 1, Georgia at 9.9 projected wins. They got a 22.9% SEC title odds, according to the ESPN FPI model. Texas 9.8
Golly.
projected wins, 29.7% SEC title odds for
29.
Texas. Number 3, Alabama
They must have spread this
8.6.
out.
Number 4, LSU at 8.4. Texas is A&M's at 5 with 8.4. Oklahoma's at 6, 7.5. Number 7 is Ole Miss, 7.3. Tennessee's at 8 with 7.3. Florida at 9 with 6.7. Missouri is at 10 with 6.7. Auburn 11 with 6.6. South Carolina, number 12, 6.4. Vanderbilt, number 13, 6.2. Number 14, Kentucky's at 4.6. 15, Mississippi State, 4.6. Arkansas at 4.3. rounding out the top seed.
Real quick, is that total wins on the season, or
That
is
is
that just
total wins
conference
on the
wins?
season.
Okay,
Yes,
so that's not
Yes.
conference wins. That's
yeah,
total
that's
wins.
total wins. So to kind of give you like a little bit of like notes here, Texas has a higher SEC win probability than Georgia, even though Georgia edges them in the FPI's overall order, which is very interesting here. So yeah, that's I kind of like this list. This seems kind of nice. I would probably put Florida over Tennessee though. At the 8 to 9.
I would
Ole
put
Miss probably
Auburn
drops.
lower.
I would probably put Florida probably 7. I don't. I'm debating between Tennessee and Ole Miss for 8 or 9. I
I would
think.
actually
I
put
put
LSU over
Florida at.
Alabama actually
I'm
too.
putting. I'm putting Florida at 8 wins. I'm going eight
I would
point.
put
I'm
LSU
going
over
eight point
Alabama
I'm
two.
gonna
too,
go with
by the
7
way.
with Florida because it's like it's a. I don't want to like it's a first year. Like I'm not expecting them to go win 8 9 games here. I think it's gonna be a multi-year rebuild over there in Florida. A&M. I think Tennessee. I think Florida's gonna be a little bit better than Tennessee this year. I think Florida's gonna surprise
Yeah,
people. Like,
Tennessee's good for about 7.
yeah, I say 7.3 is about right. Ole Miss, I feel like they. I think 7 point. I think, man, like I think they're gonna get 7 wins. Ole Miss. I
Yeah, 7. Seven's about
7
right.
seems like
They got
about
them.
right because I'm like you
They
lost a lot. They lost a lot in the portal. So and they had a you had a CFP team. So I mean you
and
could
not only
go
that, I
much
mean
higher.
Pathetic Pete was named a head coach, but honestly, his defense was not that good last year. Like their defense was like one of the mid to mid bottom teams in the SEC. They were not very good.
Are we buying Texas at 9.8?
Yeah,
If
because their
Archie plays
schedule's
like he's
easy.
supposed to.
Yeah, because their schedule's easy.
Yeah, they do have an easier
Oh
schedule.
yeah, they got an easy schedule. Yeah, that's true. They give Texas the easy schedule bias just to make Archie look better. But he's gonna struggle and he's gonna suck
I
again.
would typically agree with this. I think this is about right.
LSU should be over Alabama though. I think.
I do think
Yeah.
Alabama has an easier schedule though.
On a previous show we did with another podcast, I had said LSU was gonna do 11 this year, so I'm sticking with that.
Okay.
That sounds fair. So I think we all wrap it up here for tonight here of our SEC Conference 2026 preview here. But who's preseason champion? Who you got, Bear? Who wins it all?
For national championship or SEC
SEC
championship?
SEC champion going to the CFP.
Uh, Georgia.
Juicy.
Oh man, y'all really gonna force me to say my pick? You know what?
As long as
I'm gonna
it's
say
not
the
Texas.
Tiger. I'm gonna say the Tigers, baby.
He going LSU. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Georgia. I think I agree with Bear. I think Texas has an easy schedule. They'll get their 9.8 to 10 win. They'll probably end up going to projection, but I think Georgia.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have an
Georgia.
easy schedule, and when they play tough teams, like they always fold. I mean, it showed last year when they played, and when they did get into the college football playoff, and like they struggled, and that's good, and they should because Arch Manning's not that good. He's overhyped.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in here to Fishbowl Sports. Here, we hope you have a great, wonderful night. We're gonna see y'all here next week as we continue our trek here. Next week, we talking raging Cajuns, baby. That's what we got coming up next week here on Fishbowl Sports. By the way, on Saturday is UL Fan Day, so if you want some free stuff for the kids and sign them to the Cajun Kids Club, you can go over there Saturday and sign up and get a nice little packing and stuff out there. I think it's $35 to join, but you get like uh two vouchers for football games. You get 15 baseball and softball vouchers for games for the kids to go to, and 15 basketball games. So
Hey,
it's a very good deal,
that's
I would say,
that's awesome.
for the kids to go out there and like that's a good way to build a fan base though. I think it's a very good deal for them
It
there too.
is.
Season tickets are on sale for Raging Cajuns as well and LSU. But I was looking at ticket prices for LSU
Yeah.
games this year, and it's skyrocketed. Man, I was
Oh,
looking
they
at
have gone up.
my question was like, okay, how much you think is the cheapest ticket? I checked today for LSU and Ole Miss because I'm like, could I make a run at Oxford? Can I make a run for Oxford? We'll go with you, Bear. How much you think is the cheapest ticket for that game? It's one ticket. You got
For
one
any
ticket.
LSU game or just the LSU Ole
Just the
Miss
LSU
game?
Ole Miss game. Cheapest ticket.
I think the last ones I saw was like 500 or something. 500
Okay,
plus.
you're way too low, but okay.
Oh God.
Wow.
Juicy,
Okay.
juicy.
Hello.
I checked on SeatGeek and StubHub. What you got, Juicy? Can't look at your phone either. I can't verify what you're looking at right now, but you can't look at your phone.
I'm gonna say 1,000.
Oh wait, it's less than that. I'll tell y'all. 625 is the cheapest
Okay, I
ticket.
was close.
For nosebleed? For nosebleed
Yes,
seats?
those are
I was in the
nosebleeds.
ballpark.
Yeah, 625, $625. I could buy
Ah,
6 Raging Cajun season tickets for that same price. 6.
Whew, that's too
that's
rich
almost
for
a house
my
note.
blood.
That's almost a house note for me.
That is a house note.
Thank y'all for
That's
tuning
a
in.
vehicle note.
Yes, that is a vehicle note. Thank y'all for tuning in here to Fishbowl Sports. We hope a great and wonderful day. We'll see you here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
Good night.
Night.